Hi, I'm Charlie, and this is Cooking with Milwaukee Community Leaders. Cooking with Milwaukee Community Leaders is available both as a podcast, wherever you get great podcasts, and on video on our YouTube channel, Cooking Secrets for Men. And be sure to check out our other podcast, Munching Around Milwaukee, where we talk with chefs, restaurateurs, foodies, and food influencers here in Milwaukee about our great, vibrant food scene. So today on Cooking with Milwaukee Community Leaders, I'm very pleased to have as my guest Samantha Maldonado. Goes by Sam.
Yes.
Good to see you.
You too.
So Sam, today is Marathon Day in Milwaukee, and they run right down our street. So Sam had to traverse several different streets to kind of get here and take back roads, and so I do appreciate you being here.
Oh, good. Made it work. Yes.
So Sam has many accolades in her career. I want to mention a couple of them. She was in the Milwaukee Business Journal, or Milwaukee Magazine,
Business Journal.
Business Journal,
yeah. Women
of Influence. Mm-hmm. You were a 40 under 40 honoree.
Yep.
And you're also on the list of the most influential Latino leaders in Wisconsin.
Yes.
So that's among others. You can go to our LinkedIn and you can see 20 others. So let's start where we usually do at the beginning. So let's talk about your growing up years. So you were born here in Milwaukee.
Yeah, born and raised.
And let's talk about growing up in your early years.
Sure. So yeah, born and raised. Went an MPS kid, so I went to Morgandale, so partial immersion. My mom and dad got divorced when I was about 5, so single mom, and lived predominantly on the south side. Okay. So kind of learning and finding my way. My heritage is Peruvian and Polish, and so the Peruvian side of my family is all still in Peru. So I never really had that Latino Hispanic insulation. So I was always trying to find my group, growing up. Because you have their families your insulation in your pockets,
sure.
Right, of your heritage, and I didn't have much of that beyond my mom and my sister. And so it was just continually knowing how to navigate and knowing how to read the room quickly, kind of figuring it out, rather who's on my side, who's, someone to be, cognizant
sure.
of and observant of, right? But yeah, I'm an MPS kid, and then I went to Greenfield Middle School and high school, was a club kid, all the clubs. I was actually a wrestling manager in high school, right?
Interesting.
No one would assume. But yearbook, newspaper, Spanish club, theater, choir, all of those things.
Good.
Yeah.
All right, so you matriculate onto college. You got your degree from Alverno in business. Yes. Mm-hmm. So talk about your college years a little bit, and was there a plan after graduating?
Yeah, that's laid plans, right? And God laughs. So I actually started off in Madison for 2 years with the hopes and aspirations of being a pediatrician. So I went as pre-med. And then organic chemistry and I fastly found out we were not friends. Yeah, which is predominantly everyone's experience. So then I changed gears and pursued psychology and realized I had to get a doctorate to do what I wanted to do there. Mm-hmm. So then transitioned again into business and management and finished my undergrad and my master's at Alverno.
On the south side. So what were you thinking you wanted to do as you're going through your college years?
Yeah. I mean, I've always been a more of a mission-driven, service-oriented person. So it's always, I could see the connection between psychology and knowing how to understand someone, as well as how that could be, beneficial in the business world. So it was funny when I finished my master's, the capstone was nonprofit change management. Okay. And the immediate role I took out of graduation exactly was going through that same process. So I felt like I was am I getting punked? This is too quick. This is too much of a coincidence. But yeah, I've been able to really kind of find ways to navigate. It's not always having to go the straight ascension, but knowing how to glean different skill sets and capabilities through the different works that I've done.
So you have a diverse early career. Mm-hmm. You were, as you mentioned, it's not a straight line. You were doing different. Yeah. So talk a little bit about some of the early things you did in your career and how that kind of got you on the trajectory where we are today.
Yeah, so I've worked in the nonprofit space. I used to work at the Symphony. I worked at Time Warner Cable back in the day. And learning change management was really what telecom is about, because it changed every day. Technology just always is moving so quickly. And so it's learning how to work in a team that's going through change, how to navigate change, how to find ways to improve your work product and remove inefficiencies, and just knowing how to guide and bring people along with you. So having worked in various different roles of telecom, finance at Northwestern Mutual, and principals, managing director, and then changing gears to retail and going into the DEI people and culture space, it really is always about change leadership through people and how you kind of activate people to really find their strengths and come together to drive something positive forward.
Okay. So you're right now at Spectrum Nonprofit Services.
Yes.
So talk a little bit about Spectrum, their role in our community, and some of the things that you're involved with.
Definitely. So yeah, Spectrum Nonprofit Services is a firm that does strategy consulting for nonprofits, locally and nationally. And it's based on adaptive strategy. So it's focusing on people strategy, financial strategy, and impact strategy. So having all of those work together to really position and partner with nonprofits to be able to navigate whatever the world may throw at them.
Well, there's, I know a little bit about the nonprofit world. And I know that there are so many out there that are on a shoestring and they just kind of, what am I doing here? Spectrum serves a great purpose in our community because the nonprofit organizations are critically needed nowadays.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
They serve the community.
Yes.
And it's like, how can we partner with them to make sure that they continue to survive and thrive?
So you've been there about a year or so?
Yep, just over a year.
Okay. And where were you before that?
Before that, I was actually doing my own thing. I had my own executive leadership and strategy consulting firm called Chasca Consulting. So Chasca is actually Quechua for bright star.
It's what?
Quechua, which is the language from Peru, the Incas.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar because, I'm a heathen.
But it was me paying homage to my heritage.
Okay, very good.
And having a bright star kind of
I wondered where the
symbolically
name
works.
came from. I saw it on your page, so that's interesting. Great.
Yeah, so it's paying homage to that.
So, speaking of homage to Peruvian, why don't you tell everybody what we're making today?
Yes, so we're making Lomo Saltado today, which is kind of the best of both worlds. You have steak, you have French fries, you have onions and cilantro and tomatoes, and it's just all mixed up in a good juicy sauce, and can't ask for anything better.
And Lomo Saltado roughly translate to stir-fried beef.
Yep.
I think it actually, the direct translation is stir-fried loin, and I think they just decided we better say beef.
Yep.
So anyway, so we've done a little prep work back here, so we'll give us a minute to set up, and we'll be back, and we'll put the Lomo Saltado together.
Yes.
We'll be right back.
Very good.
All right, so Sam, here we are in the kitchen cooking area, so take it away.
Okay, so we're gonna figure this out and make it work. So we're making Lomo Saltado. So the first thing we need to do is cook the beef. And with that, we need to have 1 tablespoon of soy sauce first.
Yeah, so marinate that. So actually, I doubled the recipe, so.
Oh, so we need 2 then. Okay.
Yeah, because I want to eat some, and I have friends who are coming. And
Okay, and I could take some home too.
yeah, there you go. All right, so that. And then.
I'll be actually quite proud of myself after making this.
There we go, and then some garlic, I guess, is next. All right, so we're putting in some garlic. And I know you're Peruvian, but there's an Italian saying, there's no such thing as too much garlic.
Oh, I know. I mean, my ancestry is also Italian, so I mean,
there you
garlic
go.
runs in my blood.
Okay, so we'll stir this around.
Okay.
And just get it nice and
coated.
covered. So this is going to marinate while we make the sauce.
Yes, and we have the fries in the oven, staying warm.
There we go, fries. Ready for that. I was surprised when you sent me the recipe that it had French fries.
Right?
Well, that's cool.
You're right. I love French fries. If I'm ever at a restaurant and there's fries on the menu, believe you me, I will be ordering them.
There you go. So this is Peruvian steak and potatoes.
Exactly.
All right, so that's going to sit and marinate. So we'll get over here and we'll go ahead and make our sauce here.
Okay. So we need, what do we need in our sauce? 4 tablespoons soy sauce.
And we got some soy sauce and the ingredient that makes it Peruvian, which we'll get to.
Yeah.
It's not a readily available ingredient in mainstream stores, but in most stores that carry international food, it's there. So this will be the sauce that we'll toss everything in.
Yep.
Once we have cooked the beef.
Yep.
At least seared the beef. There we go.
Yeah. And then we need red wine vinegar.
We got some red wine vinegar right there.
And how much of that do we need? We need, 2 tablespoons.
All right. 2 tablespoons of red wine vinegar. All right, so a little acid in there.
Yep. Ají amarillo. So yeah, that's the yellow
There's
pepper.
the yellow pepper paste. We didn't have
Yes.
couldn't find the yellow peppers themselves, so we got paste.
Yep.
So
This stuff is so good.
alright.
Okay, and we need how much? 1 tablespoon. So we need 2 tablespoons then.
Alright, so 2 tablespoons of the
Ají amarillo.
ají.
Yeah. It just says yellow pepper.
Right.
is the direct translation. So then
Okay.
we'll do a little extra, little
we go.
spice.
Alright. And then I think the last thing is cornstarch. So I measured that out before. So
Perfect.
that's,
I figured so.
yeah.
I feel like Julia Child is dropping everything into the bowl.
Alright. So we'll stir that around and kind of mix it. Yeah, one thing working with cornstarch, you want to make sure you
Get all the lumps.
get the lumps out, because they'll come out and cook as lumps. All right, so I think we've got the
Sauce.
pan
ready?
on low.
Yes, that
We want to
feels
turn
warm.
it up slightly, turn it up to like medium.
Medium, okay.
And we'll put in some olive
Olive
or
oil.
olive. Tom Garvey,
I love it.
olive oil. A friend of mine made the bottle.
Oh, it's cute.
Yeah, I have a Popeye for vinegar, and I've got an avocado for senior avocado.
Oh, nice.
All right, so we're gonna let that heat for just a second, and then we're gonna sear the beef. All right. And we'll cook the onions and the tomatoes in the beef juice,
Yep.
and then
Resourceful. Use all the things.
so the beef is cut very thinly, so it'll cook quickly. So this won't take more than a minute or two to get done, and then it's gonna put it back in, and it'll continue to cook a little bit.
It smells good.
So where do you put that sauce in?
Smell-o-vision.
Yes. You watched Emerald then.
Yes.
There you go.
Bam. Yeah, I was in the cooking mood, so I actually made myself a lasagna yesterday.
Wow.
Yeah, there's some things I can make.
You can make lasagna, but you're not much of a cook. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. There's some
Okay.
things I can hang my head on, but I can make a mean cheesecake too.
Ooh. All right.
We can just let that
So we're
cook
gonna let
a
this
little bit.
cook for a little bit. All right. So we're gonna season with a little salt and pepper just to taste. Don't really measure. So that's
No.
the pepper
That's
going
the
in.
Italian side. You just kind of know when to stop.
Peruvian and Italian.
Yep.
There you go.
And I have German Polish on my
There's a
dad's
little-
side too.
A little salt there. A little salt here. All right. We'll just throw a little salt in because we got plenty of salt with the soy sauce.
Soy sauce, yeah.
And it was marinated in soy sauce too.
Exactly. So we're doubling up.
Yeah.
So what brought you to start this cooking with the community leaders? I'm curious.
Well, during the pandemic, we were watching this show, Selena Plus Chef, Selena
Oh yeah,
Gomez.
I'm familiar.
So Selena has celebrity chefs, and this is during the pandemic, so she was in her $1 million kitchen,
Yeah.
which she can't cook,
Yeah.
with her girlfriends, and they're
Right.
sitting around just yapping, and the chef is trying to teach Selena how to make whatever dish.
Right.
And then they, got to go through it, and it's entertaining, especially, Selena is just, she's remade herself about 10 times now.
Yeah.
But halfway through,
That's the
she
trick.
says, so chef, tell me about your foundation, your nonprofit, your charity.
Yeah.
And so my wife turns to me and says, well, you could do that. So half the nonprofit people in town, just,
Yeah.
get
Bring
some
'em
people.
on over.
Right, get
Yeah.
some people who are good chefs and are
Yeah.
good. So we started out with Wendy Bauman.
Oh, yeah, I know
from
Wendy.
Wibbick.
Yes.
Wendy's a great chef.
I've
and,
known Wendy a long time.
Ricardo Diaz came
Yeah.
over, and we went shopping.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, we went shopping over at
It's like
Cermak.
versions of Top Chef in a way.
And, yeah, it was great. So that's how it started, and it just
Okay.
kind of continued, and I like doing it, and it's fun.
Yeah, that's a good thing. And thank you again for asking me.
Absolutely. Glad you could come. All right, so it looks like we got another minute
Yep.
on these. I think we're looking good, so why don't we kind of
Transfer?
transfer over to that plate. Let's use a slotted spoon and just put it on there, and then we'll set that aside. And we've got all this nice juice to cook. So this can be ready probably. The thing that takes the most is the French fries.
Yep.
Other than that, this can be ready for in less than a half an hour.
Right, and who has the time to make something for an hour and a half?
Right, exactly.
You need something quick and delicious and nutritious. Yeah, my kids would probably laugh at me because they don't think I cook enough or cook, whatever. So they're like, Mom, what are
Wait
you
to see ya.
doing? I'm like, I can make lomo saltado, look. I have proof. Okay.
And just set that aside, and then we have let's do the onions first, because they took that's slightly longer.
Are we doing all of these?
Yeah, just throw them all in. That's actually 2 onions.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because we doubled up.
Right. So break those up a little bit, but they're in, we cut them in lengths, strips instead of chopping. So the tomatoes are basically the same, cut in strips, so there's some symmetry to how they get.
Visual.
Right. I think we can add in the tomatoes now.
Okay.
All right, so I think that's about 4 Roma tomatoes that we seeded and sliced.
This brings me back to my grandmother's kitchen. She can cook, like in Peru. Yeah, and whenever we try to ask her how to make recipes, she's like, I don't know. You kind of just pinch of this, pinch of that. There's never... You
are not in the minority of people say, well, this is something I learned from my grandmother. I remember this and growing up, or that's part of what people remember when they come here and make something from...
It brings back some childhood memories. Yeah. I remember my sister and I were trying to make a Peruvian dish once, and we had a whole jar of ají, and we kept adding, we couldn't taste the spice, we kept adding, couldn't taste the spice, so we ended up calling my grandmother in Peru, like, what are we doing wrong? Okay.
I think we'll add the beef back in.
There we go.
All right. And we'll mix that around.
Together.
You're right, we need smell-o-vision. This stuff is great. All right, so we'll mix this around, and then we'll put on the sauce. So give it a good toss.
Okay, ready for the sauce?
Yep. Okay. All right, pour the sauce in. Mix everything together, get a little sauce and everything, and the cornstarch will help thicken. Oh, man. For those of you that are listening on the podcast, you're missing out.
This looks so good.
If you're watching this on video, then...
Yes, you can enjoy.
Great color. All right, so I think we're going to go ahead and finish tossing this, and then we're going to put it together with the French fries and give a little topping on cilantro on top. Then we have to sit down and eat it.
Yes, we do. Yes, we need to enjoy our creation.
All right.
Exactly.
All right, so Sam's doing a great job here, so give us a minute. We'll be right back to give her a taste. All right, we're back. And as usual, I forgot to give Sam her apron. If I had to guess, it's probably 50% of the guests I forget until, they've already messed up their nice clothes cooking. So, Sam.
Yes.
Tell us what we got here.
We have Lomo Saltado. So it's Peruvian meat and potatoes, essentially. So you have French fries, and then you have the sirloin.
So let's start what's in here first, then we'll show them the French fries.
Yeah. So we have steak, we have cilantro, we have onions, and we have tomatoes, all mixed in a soy sauce, ají amarillo, deliciousness mix.
And the yellow pepper, ají amarillo?
Yeah, ají amarillo, and then we have yummy French fries. You can't go wrong with French fries.
Absolutely. All right, Sam, you're the guest. Why don't you go ahead and...
Perfect.
Serve yourself there.
Thank you, thank you.
I'll give you some French fries.
Yes, please.
Let's serve Tom in just a second. You have to tell me when.
Okay, when.
Okay. And serve fries for Tom. They're not high in protein, Tom, so is that okay?
We'll get by today.
Tom now, for some reason, he's shy. He's not shy on any other show, just this one. All right. Man, this looks good. I mean, it's visually pleasing, and it smells great. So the combination is wonderful.
I hope you enjoy it.
I'm sure I will. And here's Tom. You can smell all of it. It's so good.
Smell-o-vision.
In some places, they put the potatoes into the beef.
Yep, you can mix it all in the sauce.
You can pass that over to Tom.
Yep, there you go.
All right.
You're welcome.
My napkin in my lap. Yummy, yummy, yummy. All right.
The thing that I do is I cheers with you kind of clinking the forks.
Yep, I'm with you.
There we go.
All right. Let's give her a taste. With some potatoes.
Yeah, you got a little spice in there. What do you think?
I think it was a great breakfast.
Yeah.
Oh, now I can feel the heat.
It's a low heat. It's like a hovering. It doesn't.
It just kind of
hovers.
sneaks up on you, and then there it is.
Yeah. It doesn't blow your. It doesn't like burn your mouth out. What do you think?
Yeah.
I'll try some fries with the sauce. It's so easy to make, too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just...
Like 20, 30 minutes all in. The longest thing is just marinating the beef and getting all the stuff cut up and ready to go.
Batting 1,000. Have yet to have a bad meal on this show.
I'm kind of proud of myself. I'm not much of a cook, so this worked out.
Don't say that.
Work in progress.
She's a heck of a cook.
Work in progress. Thank you.
It's absolutely delicious. I mean, the flavors all melt, but as you've finished eating, there's just this little heat that seeps up from the pepper. You getting the heat there, Tom?
Yes.
Okay.
Everything you're saying, I'm going through right now.
You're living it.
Well, before you take another bite,
Yeah.
you go ahead and eat that.
I can have my fry?
Yeah. Thanks so much for coming.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
On Marathon Day.
This is a pleasure.
Traverse through the streets of Milwaukee to try to get here to cook me lunch. So.
And it's a beautiful day, so win-win on my side.
It is. It's a great spring day here in Milwaukee. So, thanks so much for taking the time to watch and listen. Appreciate your support. Please like and subscribe. And thanks for supporting Cooking with Milwaukee Community Leaders. Say goodbye.
Bye.
All right. We're gone. Thanks for listening to another episode of Cooking with Milwaukee Community Leaders. Cooking with Milwaukee Community Leaders is brought to you by Cooking Secrets for Men, LLC, and was recorded in the 3rd Ward in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. We feature and profile community leaders who are trying to make Milwaukee a better place. The tagline is, serious people with serious jobs having a little fun. Our guests choose the recipes that we use on the show. All of our podcasts are available on iTunes, Spotify, and wherever you get great podcasts. The original YouTube video for this episode is available on our YouTube channel, Cooking Secrets for Men, all rights reserved. Thanks, and see you next time on Cooking with Milwaukee Community Leaders.